Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawadah, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakak Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth never will. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump to this here article real quick as we're seeing, prophecies is still, speaking left and right, coming more and more in the past, And, certain people, you tell them about prophecies and things like that. And from their perspective of how things are going, oh, I don't see that happening. I don't see how this America's greatest military and they're so on and so forth with their allies. But, hey, all we have to do is sit back and let the scripture speak. All right. Because at the end, like the scripture said, at the end it shall speak and not lie. You may believe this. You may believe that. And you may have this here belief. But look at what's coming to pass, man. All right. This is NATO surprised by Turkey's opposition to new applications. All right. Hans Stoltenberg was blindsided by Ankara's objections to Sweden and Finland joining the military bloc. NATO has no reason to believe that there will be any problems. It says NATO had no reason to believe that there would be any problems with the membership application of Sweden and Finland's alliance, Secretary General Hans Stoltenberg said on Monday, admitting that he was blindsided by legitimate Turkish concerns. And so, hey, they didn't believe it, but look, this is what's happening. All right, this is all going, according to prophecy, man. All right, because, hey, the Most High is the one that's putting forth these things for these things to take place in the way that it is going. All right, you may think, you could go back on a lot of different things as far as, let's say, the whole, Russia versus America thing. If you was looking at this 10, 15 years ago, all right, maybe even 20 years ago, you wouldn't have thought that Russia would be in any kind of position to fight a war against America. All right. Economically, they was doing horrible. Militarily, they wasn't nowhere near as advanced as they are now. But hey, it's the Most High is speeding up times and things, in preparation for his prophecies to take place. That's what we're looking forward to. All right. So, hey, no matter how things may look at this point in time, when we tell you things, our job is to be prophets, to do what? To tell you before they come to pass. So, hey, we may tell you about certain things, hey, a couple years ago when we was telling everybody about how America was going to fall and everything else like that, and wasn't going to be so good, the fact of the matter was, hey, look at how America is. They used to believe that we were just living in depression. All right, we just need to go get some women, stop living on our mama's couches, go out and go live your life. But now look at it. All right, this is what we prophesied was going to happen, and this is what happened, man. All right, it says, and another scenario with the so-called UFOs, they used to laugh at and scoff at us about the so-called UFOs. And look, Esau then started coming out on the news and telling you that these things are true. So, hey, man, the rest, this should be a sign for you. Hey, if some of these things, happen to be coming to pass, how much more the rest of them, man? All right. So it says, earlier in the process, we had no reason to believe that there would be any problems, Stoltenberg told Financial Times on Monday while visiting Sweden. Back in April, NATO had promised Sweden and Finland that the first stage of their accession would only take a couple of weeks, only to run into Turkish objections as Ankara accused both countries of supporting terrorism. All right, going into the Kurds that, basically like, hey, when America was over in Syria, all right, bombing in Syria, well, America wasn't necessarily over there like that as themselves. They used proxies. All right. And part of the proxies that they was arming the so-called moderate rebels, all right, was the Kurds. All right. Which Turkey sees as a terrorist group unto them. All right. So, hey, this is like how America and Israel blames Iran for backing like people like Hamas and things like that. Oh, you're backing a terrorist group and this and that because y'all look at them as their enemies. But now, hey, all this is coming up into your face, man. How do you like it? All right. It says the Turkish concerns are not new, Stoltenberg added, calling Turkey an important ally. And when allies raise security concerns, we have to address them. These are legitimate concerns. This is about terrorism. It's about weapons exports, Stoltenberg said on Sunday in Finland. We have to address the security concerns of all of our allies, including Turkish concerns about terrorist group, the PKK. All right. It says, my goals is to have Finland and Sweden as members as soon as possible. It can still be quick compared with other ascension process that the alliance chief told FT. Stoltenberg added that his hope was that the matter would be resolved within a reasonable time, but there was no deadline to do so, suggesting it may not get done before the NATO summit at the end of June. And Ankara has accused Helsinki and Stockholm of harboring members of the outlawed Kurdish group it considers to be terrorists and blocking export of weapons to Turkey. Sweden and Finland have reportedly complained that Turkey has not presented them with a specific demand. A 10-point list appeared in the Turkish media last week, but it remains unclear whether it represents Ankara's official position. And which, they say, oh, they didn't give us this is just that rhetoric going around, because like I said, Turkey had the same, the same stance. Like I said, when, remember the whole ISIS story, when they was over there in Syria and everything else like that, how America was so-called back in the, the Free Syrian Army and everything else like that, trying to fight against Assad, all right? That's, America was over there backing and giving them arms. And then this is what started the riffraff between Turkey and America at that point in time. I mean, they had, things going on before that, but this was one of the big major things, which ultimately led to what? Turkey starting to buy arms, coming up off of, the American or Western side so much. And then ultimately, look, we're going to just go ahead and sign this here S-400 deal, Y'all people ain't really, y'all not really looking out for our best interests anyway. How the hell y'all arming, these moderate rebels, which we see as terrorists, y'all giving them weapons and stuff, and they just coming over here terrorizing us with the shit, man. So y'all arming our enemies now. We supposed to be allies. So how the hell you want me to go fight a war for you when you over here arming our enemies and they coming over here fucking us up just so you can get your so-called agenda over here in Syria? The Syrians and the Russians ain't really doing nothing harmful to Turkey. If anything, they could benefit from them. But what is these nations like Turkey benefiting from holding America down, man? All right, you can see the same deal with like Australia. You see the same thing with Germany, France, all these other European countries as well too. Is seeing the same thing. Like, look, we've been holding y'all down, all right, for y'all to benefit. But what do we benefit from holding y'all down? Look at Germany and the rest of Europe right now when it comes to energy and everything else like that. When it comes to economic collapses and things like that, that's what they got in return for backing America and NATO and everything with dealing with the whole Ukraine thing, man. All right, for what? Their own benefit, so that, who's going to benefit from it? Let's just say Ukraine wins, and let's just say completely destroy Russia. Who's going to be the one that's going to take all the spoils of war? All right, it's going to be America, man. Look at what happened in the Middle East. America drug everybody into the Middle East, and who got to gather up all the oil and the resources from Iraq? All right, and all the opioids and the poppy fields from Afghanistan and things like that. It was America, man. All right, but they the ones sent the less amount of troops into the whole fight, while the rest of the nation sent more troops and lost more and had more casualties. But hey, this is what you have going on. All right, so let me go ahead and grab a couple scriptures and then we'll close it. Let me finish this. Stoltenberg is expected to convene Sweden, Finnish, and Turkish officials in Brussels in the coming weeks. Last month, Ankara hosted talks with delegation from Stockholm and Helsinki, but Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan later complained that they were not at the desired level. All right, because hey, let's go ahead and grab certain scriptures real quick. One of them that should come to mind is that Obadiah 1 in, I believe, verse 7, which we'll get to it. But hey, well, let's start here. Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup, and Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So like I was just explaining, these nations, they started out by listening to what America had to say and drinking the Babylonian juice, all right, drinking the Kool-Aid, and then guess what? Hey, yeah, if y'all follow us and do this and that, we'll do this for you, we'll do that for you. Hell, look at what's going on in the Ukraine. How do we get to the situation in Ukraine? Well, America was like, look, basically, we want y'all to sit here and cut all kind of deals and, cut all ties and screw up all kind of things that y'all got going on with Russia. What is Russia going to do? Invade y'all? We got y'all back. They're not going to do that. We're not going to allow them to do that. Then when they did those things, all right, for America them to benefit, what's the stance that America's taking right now? You don't see no American troops over there. All right, they arming them, but they arming them with weaponry not really capable of I put it this way as an analogy, right? I'm over here telling you, look, bro, we can go get in a NASCAR race and you can go win this and that. I'll back you. Look, you broke, you need back, and I'll back you and everything else like that. Talking all this big hot shit, you know what I'm saying? Or let's say boxing, fighting. I got you over here talking shit to Mike Tyson type thing, and he, world-renowned boxer and everything else like that. And then I'm telling you, look, bro, I'll train you, I'll back you, I'll give you everything that you need. Fuck that nigga, man. We gonna go ride on this nigga, this and that. Now I got Mike Tyson ready to beat your ass and everything else like that. And then what did I provide you with training? Oh, I taught you how to play some video game, Mike Tyson knockout, to win in a damn video game. Like, that's not gonna win you in real life. When the real shit hit the fan, like, look, but what did I do? I benefited from the promotion of this here fight. Hey man, I'm getting paid. I don't give a damn if you get knocked out, if he kill you. Guess what? I promoted the fight. I'm gonna get paid off this here promotion. And what am I gonna do for you? I trained you on how to beat Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson knockout, the video game, not the real Mike Tyson. Now he really mad at you. He bringing you to smoke. This is what happened with Russia. Now you have the same thing going on with Taiwan. all right, over in the situation with China and everything else like that. What the hell you think Taiwan is going to benefit from being held down by America and everything else like that? They still gonna always be on the border of China, right there on their doorstep. So hey man, all China got to do is cut them off from trade and economics, and they're gonna sit there and starve. You think America gonna export anything to Taiwan to keep them afloat and everything else like that? America ain't got the goods for all those things, man. All right, but hey, this is part of that Babylonian juice that these people are starting to wake up from, because hey, they've been drinking the juice and now they're starting to sober up. All right, it says Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, so let me go. Matter of fact, I could have read the next couple verses, but I want to grab. Well, let me just start up here real quick. Habakkuk 2:5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgressed by wine." All right, that sweet talk, those philosophies and everything. Things sound good on paper, man. Think about any kind of deal or contract that you've ever signed with Esau here in America. The reason you signed it because it sounded like it was a good deal. Whether you bought a car and found out that the interest rate was going to be high as hell, all right, you signed up for whatever it was, and you found out that this wasn't what you really wanted, man. All right, that's what America does, man. Just like the example I explained with the Ukraine situation. Like, they would have never sat there and be like, yo, we're going to sit here and start poking the bear. If we would have known, y'all would have been giving us inferior weapons to Russia. Y'all wasn't going to send in troops. Y'all wasn't going to send how they call it, no-fly zone over there. Y'all wasn't going to protect us like we really need to protect them. We wouldn't even risk all of our people, our civilians, our economy, our land and everything else like that. Russia bombarding their ass with just, Russia basically fighting them with their pinky instead of their whole fist. All right, because believe that Russia could have just immediately wiped Ukraine off the face of the earth within 24 hours. But, that ain't what's really going on, man. All right, Russia got enough to as it's prophesied, Russia's got enough to wipe America off the face of the earth. Ukraine ain't got no weapons. If Ukraine is getting weapons from America, what the hell? Come on, man. But nevertheless, hey, this is what will happen when you got that Babylonian juice, or like, when you be drinking alcohol, they call it liquid courage, or that electric Kool-Aid. You over here thinking that you all sauced up and you think you something nice, but in reality, when you wake up, man, all right, I used to hear the term liquid courage. You wouldn't be talking to that man like that if you wasn't all sauced up and everything. But then you sober up and you realize you've been talking shit to this dude. Now he finna come see you, and now you all scared. This is what's going on. It says, "Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and his death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." And right now you're starting to see at a very rapid pace, the fact of the matter of NATO expanding. Hell, over the last, let's just say 5 years, man, NATO has been expanding like a wildfire, man. All right, getting more and more NATO countries at a time, getting memberships 2 at a time. All right, so hey, man, what are they doing, man? Their desire is hell. They can't be satisfied. They going out, gathers unto them all people. And I always say about this, they're not gathering these people so they can be buddy and on the same level with they ass. No, they gathering these people to reign over top of them and steal their resources and use them for their own purposes, man. Yeah, we recruit more and more soldiers. Not that, you could be a partaker in the spoils of war with us. No, that you can go fight our wars for us, man. All right, and this is what America winds up doing. If these other nations, we'll get to it. The scriptures, well, we just read, matter of fact, that the nations have drinking of her wine, and now, the nations are mad. But hey, man, once these people start waking up to this, what's going on, they're going to realize, you know what, let me sober up, let me get my ass the hell up out of here, because look, this is not good for me. This is not conducive for the, the longevity or the livelihood of our own nation, man. We about to risk everything else helping this nigga out over here. What the hell I'm going to do that for? I mean, who in their right mind let's say you live in an apartment, who in their right mind will sit there and not pay your rent? See your neighbor go out clubbing and making it rain all in the club, but his rent money and everything else like that, and then rent due, you finna take your little bit of rent money that you work hard for. That's all you got is your little rent money. Who in their right mind would sit here and not pay their rent just to go pay their neighbor's rent and keep it moving, man? All right, that ain't gonna work out, man. It's only a certain point in time to where people will start, sober enough from their bad decisions, and it's like, you know what, we got to turn from these things. And this is what you start to see these nations are doing. All right, Turkey is looking out for what's benefiting them. Hey, man, look, we over here. Look, if I can stop, and I'll agree with your little NATO scenario if you stop arming these people, which is going to benefit us. But if you don't want to benefit us, why would we do anything to benefit you? You don't want to hear our questions and concerns, you know what I'm saying, until we stir up some damn noise. So, hey, we got to do it this way, man. All right? So it says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, He is a proud man, and neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as his death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth itself with thick clay. All right, and that's also what you have going on right now, with the likes of China, all right, and these nations say, hey, man, look. I was watching the news just the other day, this was being aired on Al Jazeera about what China was saying. They had a meeting over there, and they was like, look, we're not going to be bullied over there. That's one thing that's not going to happen. We're not going to be bullied over there. And when it comes to Taiwan, because Taiwan is a part of China, all right, just like how Ukraine is a part of Russia, whether or not they want to be hijacked and everything, or like Hong Kong is a part of China, man. All right, look at the history on that. Oh, or the what do you call it? The European, the people from England and them was running them and everything else like that. They like, look, China's position was like, look, we don't give a damn if they gonna just like what Russia said with the Ukraine. We don't give a damn if they autonomous. But one thing we not gonna have is we not gonna have international interferers, people from the international other folks, i.e. America and them, putting their nose and using them as puppets. We're not gonna let that happen. We're not gonna allow you to militarize your troops upon our borders and things like that. And what is America's response? Oh, we seen the biggest buildup of military, the biggest military buildup of China that we've ever seen. Yeah, because you on their doorsteps and you posturing like you about to invade, go to war. What the hell you think they're gonna do? Not defend themselves, not be ready. We see them coming out there, but we're gonna still let you sneak us from the side? Come on, man. All right, so hey, eventually, you start to see these nations, it's like, look, bro, we look at Germany and Europe and all these other nations. They start to look at their country first and foremost. Hey, man, we going bankrupt over here. You know what I'm saying? We losing energy. We losing all these different things. Our economy is collapsing. How about we just pull out of this here fight? We're not sending in no more weapons over there. We can't afford to do this shit no more, man. So we're going to just pack up and we're going to go home. We're going to let y'all deal with this shit. We got to sit over here and fix our own situation, man. All right, look, bro, hey, I'm your boy and all, but I can't give you, I can only give you this $20 for your rent, bro, but I can't give you no more than that. If I give you more than that, then I ain't gonna have enough money for my rent, and who gonna pay my rent? You're not gonna pay my rent because you taking money from me. All right, so I got to look after me first. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, and how long to him that ladeth itself with thick clay. All right. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto them? All right, going into that, it says, and shall they not rise up suddenly, all right, and awake? All right, this is what, going into that Babylonian juice. They sobering up, man. Hold on, bro. This not a good deal for us. All right, we got to sober up. We got to think logically over here. All right, because if we do this, we liable to lose everything. All right, and this is, like I said, this is the stage that you're starting to see a lot of America's so-called allies are doing. Instead of just blindly following America, because we're in a very special time, man. If you ever been watching about like news, or like, how do I put it? Not to say news and politics or international politics, but politics is dealing with these other nations and militaries and things like that, man. Nobody ever talked to America the way that they talking to America now. All right, nobody defied America like they allies. They'd be like, look, when America used to say jump, the allies would say how high. Nowadays, the America's saying jump, and the allies are saying why. Why should we? If we jump, what you gonna give us? America say entertain us. Look at the story we're reading now with Ankara or Turkey, right? America saying sign a deal, just go ahead and sign a deal, and Turkey's like, why should we? How about we get what we want to get up out of these things, man? So now they're starting to pump the brakes on these things, man. You have other European nations is pulling out of arming Ukraine. I believe it's Poland. All right, a couple other countries, maybe I can't even think off the top of my head, but nevertheless, hey, they starting to wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like I said beforehand, you never had people that would question America. Whenever they said jump, they would say how high. Nowadays, they saying why should I? What is it in it for me? All right, and that's enough signs of defiance and weakening in their whole structure, man. All right, it says, I can read this too, verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. Let me go real quick to have that precept in mind. I just dropped. Give me 1 second. I should have pulled it up. I had it hot and fresh. Let me read this real quick. Lord's will, that precept will come back to me. So let's just jump into this. Obadiah 1:7 says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. All right, the men, well, let me keep reading. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in him. So, hey, that's going into, America and their allies, and not just their allies, the ones that America's been propping up, the ones that America's been helping and provide for certain things. They eating that bread, it's like, hey, man, imagine if, you fallen on financial hard times, you got a homie or something like that, and then, like, he allow you to stay in his house. Hey, man, you can come stay with us, man. You ain't got to worry about no food, no rent, no none of that. You can eat my groceries and everything. I'm taking care of you so that you can, survive and everything else like that. And then, but you get into a point that, hey, man, look, the ones that was at peace with you, your homie and everything else like that, that God allows you to come in and share the food with you and everything else like that. Now, all of a sudden, he's turning on you, man. And this is what you have going on right now. America, niggas, what is that? Training Day movie. You know what I'm saying? When Denzel was like, basically like he was helping the hood out, so on and so forth. But eventually the hood was tired of him. I was like, nah, bro, you got to get the hell up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? And then he let the white boys square off with him with a catch a fair one. And that's what you're starting to see happen right now. That's a prime example of, if I could put that clip in this video, that's a prime example of what's going on right now, man. All right, Denzel was saying, I believe his name was Alonzo, was saying about how he helped out the hood and provided for the hood and let them do whatever they was doing and being wicked and everything else like that, for so long. So y'all got to respect me. I'm the king around here. He's like, I'll put cases on all you bitches. Like, yeah, you and what army? You and what power? All right, now this one white boy want to come over here and squabble with you. Hey, y'all going to have to catch a fair one because I see where he coming from. Hey, go ahead. All right, you out there by yourself. And this is what's going to lead America out. Let's read it again. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There's no understanding in him. So it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Hey, they brought you out. Go ahead, man. Go fight your fight by your damn self, bro. We're not gonna be there with you, man. All right. Let me read this real quick. And then we'll close out. I couldn't remember that other precept, but hey, pretty much the point is being made. All right, Revelation 17 and 16, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, because, hey, again, the men that was at confederate with thee, all right, you have the beast and the whore, right? The beast would be basically NATO and the EU, all right, upholding and I always liken it to like a horse and a horse rider, man. Or, you got a car or a plane and a pilot, right? The plane isn't quite flying itself. You have the pilot that's steering it, all right? So, hey, America's steering, NATO and the EU in the direction they want them to go, all right, for their own benefit. The plane ain't really benefiting for you using it and abusing it and taking it all. The plane don't get paid. You getting paid for the tickets of the people that you're filling with the seats, man. All right, but nowadays, hey, man, that plane is bucking back. All right, nowadays the beast is starting to kick the whore off her back, man. All right, and ultimately, like it says here, it says let me just read the whole verse. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, and again, we already read about how they was gonna bring her out. The men that was at peace with them, was gonna bring them out even to the border. So, hey, you starting to see these prophecies come to pass, man. I remember what I was gonna grab. This is Isaiah 47. All right, and let me just start at 10. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, all right, that Babylonian Jews, their witchcraft, and thou said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Because with this here Babylonian Jews, for so long, Esau was able to go on, push forward, and then, nobody really understood what was going on. But nowadays, people are starting to wake up and see all these things like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just, I had this conversation the other day with somebody about, like, the problem isn't that America's over here stealing and invading countries. The problem is that people ain't really having a problem with that's going on. Like, bro, America had y'all all on their backside, basically riding on them with, ISIS, these niggas over here trying to hijack these cities and create their own caliphate and do all this crazy shit and take over the people and enslave these folks and do all this crazy shit so they can steal the oil and everything else like that. And then everybody was supposed to be up in arms. This is a major atrocity. This is the worst thing that can happen on earth. But see, America first of all, we're not gonna get into who formed them, but America doing the same ass shit, and ain't nobody saying nothing about that, man. And it's the same game plan they did with the so-called Native Americans, with the so-called Negroes. All right, now they going back on the, back on the other side of the globe. They colonized the whole damn planet Earth, and now they doubling back down on it again. All right, but yet and still, going back to what we were about to read about their witchcraft, and how they have these people under this illusion. It's like, wait a minute, when somebody else does it, it's such a problem, but then when America does it, that's just part of, hey, that's what we're supposed to do. We got to be doing these things, man. Is it not that the action is bad instead of who's committing the action that's bad? It's like, some people say, oh, stealing and killing and all this violent stuff is bad. That should just be it. No matter who does it, it should be bad. But then when it says, oh, well, it's fine when these people do it, but it's not fine when these people do it, it's like, wait a minute. If drug dealing is bad, drug dealing should be bad. It shouldn't be good when the government is doing it, and bad when, Ray rating them up the block is doing it. But let me finish this off and we'll close out. Verse 10, Isaiah 47:10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou sayest, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge has perverted thee. All right, because the pride of thy heart has deceived thee. You nigga, look, it's over with, and you don't even see it. But yet and still, like scripture say, thy own counsel has cast thee down, man. You're going to get caught in your own snares, man. You believe in this shit, but then it's all falling away, and you still think that you the shit, man. All right? Thy wisdom and thy knowledge has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. Desolation shall come up upon thee suddenly, and thou shalt not know. Stand now in thine enchantment with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou be able to profit, if so thou mayest be able to prevail. All right, so hey, man, look, the shit that the lies that you had going on beforehand, keep telling them same lies, but look at how it's really being affected right now. People are starting to say, I got one more verse, we'll close out. All right, people are starting to say this now, Isaiah 14:16. It says, they that see thee shall nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness, that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? All right, is this the man? Bruh. So, I always liken this to the Wizard of Oz, with the wizard behind the little cloak. All right, once he got exposed by the little bitty dog, the underdog, all right, and you think that the people still going to believe in all those illusions and everything else like that? All right, see, the part of your heart has deceived you. Go ahead and think that your little witchcraft and all your illusions is still going to work after you being exposed, man. All right, the men of the Lord have been exposing your ass this whole time, and now it's time for you to fall up out of power. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and taught us this truth, never will. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.